Hey, what's up guys? So today we're going to be talking about Valorant, the game that everyone is streaming, talking about, and playing, the new FPS by Riot Games. So I'll give you guys a short little review, talk about some pros, talk about some cons, but the first thing I want to do is answer a bunch of questions rapid fire that I got asked during my live stream. So first off, this game will be a free-to-play game and it's going to be coming out this summer. Currently, right now, the only way to get access to the beta is by watching people that have drops enabled on their live stream, and then you will have a chance to maybe get into the beta. As far as the game goes, there is going to be microtransactions, but at the look of it, at least from the beta, it looks like it's just going to be skins. You won't have access to all of the heroes at the start, but you will be able to earn them without paying real money. So if you're worried about the game being pay to win, I wouldn't worry about that. It might just be pay to look cool. The game does have recoil, but it is a predictive recoil. It's not like Bloom where you have to rely off of RNG. There is also fall damage. The gameplay, by the way, that you guys are seeing in the background is some of my really earlier footage, but there's a lot of stuff in here that I wanted to go ahead and show examples of that I didn't do later down the line. But nonetheless, there is fall damage in the game. That's something that is quite important to mention. I'm playing the healer class, so I can basically heal myself up to full before I really need that ability anyways. But this is probably the only time you'll ever see me playing the character that would be considered the healer in the game anyways. And so I'll just use this gameplay here. There's going to be some raw gameplay, so there's not going to be a bunch of cuts and edits here, because I could make myself look really good by just taking a few short clips when you pop off in the game. But for the most part, it's quite rare to see the game being played super fast-paced unless someone is playing a very specific character and they have all their abilities ready. And the game is definitely a lot slower than a lot of people would like to see, because you know how it is with a lot of game trailers, and when people show off some of their highlights, it makes the game look a lot faster than it really is. It actually is a very slower paced game compared to like Overwatch as far as pushing. You definitely have to wait and watch angles a lot more. But anyways, the game is primarily going to be a game that is focused in on aim versus using specialist abilities. I would say the game is more so Counter-Strike-y than Overwatch, if that makes sense. If you like to play certain things in Overwatch, like mostly tanks, to make the space, or if you like to play a healer, it might be kind of a rough transition, that is for sure. The games are going to be super sweaty, just as a heads up. It doesn't seem like there's a lot of newer players that are hopping into this game and just holding W key. Maybe they'll do that for their very first game, but for the most part, everyone is sitting super far back, waiting, playing angles, using their abilities, and kind of just playing a lot slower than I personally would like. But nonetheless, the games are quite long too. They are going to go to 13 rounds. The first team to get to 13 points will be winning. So it's anywhere from like 30 to 40 minutes for the average game. And it's not really like Overwatch, where it's going to bring a bunch of people who normally don't play FPS to go ahead and hop in and play this game. Although there will be a lot of people playing this game because it's a new game, it's by Riot, and on top of that, it runs on pretty much most computers. But nonetheless, the numbers in this game are going to be super inflated. I know a lot of people are looking at this game and saying, oh, this game is going to kill Fortnite, it's going to kill Overwatch as well as CSGO. And the game is new, so there's going to be a lot of people. But I think that this game is definitely not for everyone. You can see someone just used a giant wall to kind of block line of sight. So the guy's kind of just spraying, he gets a headshot, and that's the end of that guy. A lot of weapons in this game will be killing in like one hit. It's crazy how fast the time to kill is. It literally will feel like one frame. It feels like you peek for 1 second and you're instantly gone. But anyways, now that I got those questions out of the way, I want to go ahead and go over the pros of the game and kind of do it in a review style, so it's more so things that are objective here. So as far as pros in the game, I think a lot of people have felt the frustration of so many team-based games that have been coming out recently. And in this game, you don't really have to rely on the team. Sure, you can have someone go ahead and reveal a certain portion of the map, then you can call an airstrike down and eliminate someone. There are definitely team combos, but it's not going to be a super heavy team-based game. It feels good to be able to kind of solo carry. You can definitely tell who is going to be better at games. It's kind of a twitchy shooter in a sense, because you have to be able to snap to someone's head ASAP, because that's just the way the game is oriented. And it is going to be a free-to-play game. I would consider that a pro as well. As far as the game goes, the sounds in the game are excellent. You can definitely hear footsteps from super far away. They did a good job on it. It's not like you know, with Fortnite, you don't know what exactly level they are, or, you know, the sounds are kind of messed up in Fortnite, especially with elevation here. You just saw me use a res spell, by the way. I'm playing a healer class, but don't worry too much about the abilities. I only get that res every once in a while. It's not like every single 30 seconds like Mercy I get that ability, but every 35 seconds I will have a res ability. By the way, don't shoot people's dead bodies. I always shoot people's dead bodies that are camping just because I want to show them who's the boss, okay? But this game is definitely going to cater towards more of a slower playstyle, just as a heads up, and I'll get more into that in a minute. But I do like that the game looks very clean. Some people are saying the graphics are kind of meh, but this is maybe a positive for people that don't like games to have a bunch of VFX going all over the place with like shields, walls, lasers, different you know, colored areas. It's more clean, and I could say that I honestly appreciate this. I would consider this a pro compared to, let's say, Overwatch, where you have barriers and just a bunch of different lines going through. It's hard for someone to look at the game from a perspective of, I don't play League of Legends, I don't play Overwatch, just to watch the game and understand exactly what's going on. But with this game, you can understand what's going on with relative ease, and I do like that. Another thing that is cool in the game is you can buy your teammates guns. It's not that big of a deal as far as like changing up gameplay, but it is a nice change because in Counter-Strike you have to buy the weapon, throw it on the ground. It just makes it a little bit nicer just to go ahead and right click and say, hey, can you buy this weapon? And someone buys you the weapon. The voice chat in the game is very good. It's not like terrible quality. If any of you guys remember Apex at the launch, the voice quality was terrible, so I like that. I didn't have any bugs that I experienced, and the game runs very, very smooth. No problems other than logging in, but you know, we're talking about day one here, and that issue will probably be fixed. And it's not something that I'm super worried about in the future, being able to log in. But once you're logged on, again, I haven't really had too much issues with the game. Those are all the pros that I would say that exist in the game, and I don't feel like the abilities are super, super overpowered. There are times where if you really enjoy Counter-Strike and you have these magical abilities, I could see it being frustrating, but the frustration might happen like 1 or 2 times for the entire sets of all of your games, but I wouldn't worry about that too much. I couldn't say that there's that many cons with the game as far as like the game as a whole, but I'll talk about my personal thoughts in a minute here because I know a lot of you guys want that. But as far as the game goes, the only cons I would say for the unranked section of the game, I think that it would be good if you can't flash your own teammates, or when you use your abilities, it doesn't negatively impact you or your teammates. I'm talking about if you throw a slow on the ground, it will affect you and your teammates, as well as, of course, the enemies, because that's what you want to affect. But I think for the unranked section, since everyone's learning, getting flashed by your own teammates is not very fun. And it's not like every character has the ability to do a flash, but there are all of these abilities. You'll see in the bottom right where it says 500. That's my credits. That's what I use to purchase weapons as well as abilities. You don't just get abilities for free every single time that you start off a new round. Every character will have ability that you just have, but you won't have all of them. You will have to purchase them, and if you don't use them, they will persist through the next round. You can drop weapons. I'm kind of messing around with this little rope system over here. That's how you kind of climb up on different levels of elevation. The game, as far as my section of my thoughts on the game, again, this is like day one. So I gave you guys some pros, I gave you guys some cons, but now I want to go ahead and kind of review it from my own standpoint. This game is super campy. You literally peek for 1 frame and you just instantly melted, and I don't like that. I like to be able to W key, I like to be able to push, but this game just doesn't support it. If you like run in this game basically at your normal pace without holding shift, which is where you would be able to walk, the enemies can hear you from super, super far away, so everyone basically walks around. It's super slow. If you like Escape from Tarkov, if you like playing Call of Duty Modern Warfare on hardcore, and you like to play Search and Destroy, this could be a game that you could maybe look at and be like, okay, I can enjoy it. But if you like to WQ, if you like playing like Black Ops games, the Treyarch games versus Infinity Ward games where you melt instantly, this might not be a game for you. If you like to play Overwatch and you like to go ahead and push, this is probably not going to be a game for you, honestly. It's more like Counter-Strike, and you die super, super fast in this game, and I can see a lot of people getting frustrated with this game simply because of the way it's oriented. You basically have to watch, play angles. If you're not, gonna sit there with an op for 2-3 minutes and wait, if you don't have the patience, this might not be a game for you. It's all about being a little bit patient and using your abilities to try to time certain things. And for me, I like to rush, and it just doesn't look like this game really supports it. Yes, there are abilities in the game where you can go ahead and, you know, throw down a smoke, but a lot of times people will spray 1 or 2 shots, and if you walk through that smoke, you're just going to get eliminated very, very fast. I mean, you saw it already in the gameplay. A lot of people, when you throw down a smoke, they'll lay a few different shots down that area, and you can get one-shotted very easy. Even if you buy armor in the game, you'll just melt super, super fast. And I don't even feel like it's a get good thing. Like, okay, you can see this cheeky strat that I'm doing. So I'm going to go ahead and throw up a wall. By the way, how the game works is there's an invisible wall kind of in the middle-ish of the map on both players' teams. And basically, you can't pass that wall, but I'm going to go ahead and use like a May wall, and I'm going to go ahead and shoot his body because that guy is a camper. Like I said, I will shoot and teabag all of the campers' bodies because I don't like that play style, and it's just the way that everyone plays because that's the way that the game is designed, and I can't really blame them for that. There's just too many guns that literally one-shot you. Even if you have max armor, you'll get one-shotted from lots of different ranges with lots of different guns. The footsteps are just too loud. I feel like all the mobility in the game is punished. If you activate abilities, you're telling everyone, hey, I'm activating this ability, I'm using my ultimate, and I don't like that because it punishes people that are trying to make plays, if that makes sense. Although you could argue that, you know, you still are able to go ahead and have that mobility. It's not as enjoyable as I personally would like. That's just my take on it. But in addition to that, I feel like they really need to look at the game as far as being able to be more casual oriented, maybe have different modes in the game. I like to have a lot more weapons at our disposal. That'd be kind of cool. Like, there's only 2 SMGs in the game. But for the most part, I don't think that that's going to be changing like that. The health pool for this game will be changing. Maybe if they add a different mode, maybe they add like a TDM where you have double the health. I can see myself really enjoying this game, but it's just not a game for me. And like I've said multiple times, a game can still be good, and I can still give a game a good review, but it's just not a game for me. Like, for example, I really dislike Rainbow Six as far as the game goes, but I can still respect it and say that, you know, there are people that really enjoy the game, and it can still be a great game, but it's just not for me personally because I like to rush. This game, how it feels, if you want a good simulation, get a top 500 Widow and Hanzo on the other team, and then your team has no shields, they have no tanks, and you just have to walk in. That's how it feels. Like, you're super scared to move around, and that's how everyone plays. You see everyone going super slow. They try to make these little orbs that you can acquire, but you see, like, I'm checking every single corner. I don't like playing like that. I like to rush. That's just my play style and how I enjoy games. I don't think this game will kill Overwatch or it will kill Counter-Strike. I think that, again, this game can cater towards a completely different audience, which is quite cool. But as of right now, you'll probably see a lot of people that play Fortnite, Overwatch, CSGO, whatever the case may be. They're streaming this game now because it's hot and it's new, and people will be like, oh my gosh, I love this game. But eventually, I think that most of the casual audience that really enjoyed Overwatch, if they're not willing to put in the time, they're not going to have a good time. They'll just move on to, you know, whatever is the next newer game that comes out. But I definitely see a lot of people playing this game because, again, it is new. But I legit feel the time to kill is way too fast. It's literally instant, and I would like to see this game have some more modes than basically search and destroy. But anyways, those are my thoughts. You guys can let me know yours down below if you played the game. I'm going to try to grind out the game a little bit more. If you guys want to see more Valorant content, I do plan to upload it in the nearby future here, but I just at first glance from day one, as far as my review goes, I'm not gonna say that this game is going to be the best game ever for me personally, but I can see a lot of people enjoying the game. I'm not trying to be like on the fence and not being like 0 out of 10 because it's too campy, but I honestly feel like the game is way too campy. It's too slow for my personal take. But those are my thoughts. You guys can let me know yours down below. But thanks for tuning in, guys. I'll catch you in the next video. Have a good one. I'm signing out. Peace.